As you may have gathered, this isn't Eakring or Sherwood Forest. In fact, I'm at the side of the River Trent at Besthorpe today, which is a few miles north of the town of Newark. I've been further northeast in the county. On the way there early morning, when it was quite foggy and certainly overcast, I still saw a number of Red Admirals taking flight. On the way back, I've seen Red Admirals moving through, but we've got a bit more cloud at the moment, but it is still bright, and there's hopefully a bit of thinner cloud and maybe some blue sky on the way. Driving down this rather bumpy, dusty track, there were at least 4 Red Admirals on the path in front of us, and I'm hoping that they're going to start and trickle through today. I'm going to give it an hour, see what happens. It's 12:40 p.m. and it's October the 8th, if I remember right, and we'll see what happens. I want to show that the Red Admiral migration that I've been recording from Eakring is broad scale and visible to everyone who takes the time out to have a look. Well, it appears that the first of the Scandinavian thrushes have reached Nottinghamshire today, 5 just going over southeast. But there is a developing trickle of Red Admirals. In fact, there's one going through the field on the right of the screen now. They're slightly higher off the ground here than at Eakring. This is a very different area to work, and it's took me a while to sort of suss things out here, but we have Red Admiral migration in progress once again. The good thing about this site is that it's typical countryside. There's no linear features that Red Admirals will move along here. At least nothing that I can see. The general movement is that sort of angle. It looks as though it's more or less southwesterly here, and most butterflies are this side. Easy to pick out, but I am having to scan as the Red Admiral comes here. But I am having to use the binoculars more here, which is no bad thing. The intention of this video, as I mentioned, is to show that you don't have to be anywhere special to observe butterfly migration. You can do it, as I mentioned before, at any open site. It's going to be a decent double-figure count, and I think the weather conditions or the amount of sunshine will only improve, and that will lead to more butterflies moving through. Well, it continues to be a steady rate of Red Admirals going through southwest, and the lady walking the dogs down there has now just been converted and made aware that Red Admirals do move through and don't just die. And she witnessed 2 moving across as we were stood talking for a few minutes. It's a very real thing, butterfly migration, and we're heading probably towards a count of 25:30 by the end of the first hour, and we've got quite a bit. We've got 10 minutes to go, so probably nearer 25 than 30, I think. I ended up with 28 Red Admirals going through in that first hour. I've had 2 as I've walked round, so you may have realised I've just changed location. The car was only just over there, and that's where I was standing before. And I've come more or less to meet the Red Admirals as they come across the field. But what is surprising is the size of the spiders that are actually ballooning. And there's some large balloons made out of spider silk. Some really quite obvious white clumps and strands of silk, all with a decent sized spider attached to them. The top of this post here is a prime site for spiders ballooning, and I've seen 2 species in the short while that have just been stood at the side of this post. One was one of the wolf spiders, a lycosid spider that went off, and the second one, which I have got some footage of, is one of the crab spiders. Don't know which species. It could just be Xysticus cristatus, but that has gone off. And I can see the next post down, there's another lycosid spider that's also in the process of ballooning. Middle of the screen, just on the edge of the post, there is another Xysticus species in the process of ballooning. What it's doing now, it stands on tiptoes, abdomen in the air, sends out a long trail of silk, and hopefully that silk will eventually catch the wind. Quite a lot of silk. I don't know whether it keeps pulling some silk back to double and treble the width of the silk. Obviously the thicker the silk is, the more it's likely to be caught, but it's still continuing to put out that thread. Still there, and the thread grows. But it's amazing how large these balloons that the spiders make through the silk, how large they become and how obvious they are. It's the perfect day for ballooning, at least for spiders. We have another customer to the post. Look, look at this lycosid wolf spider. These are juveniles, large juveniles. And you can see this one, abdomen in the air. It is just amazing. These are the largest spiders that I've seen do this, and from the eyes to the rear end of the abdomen, this spider is about 8, maybe 9 mil in length. So it's not tiny money spider size. I'm quite surprised of the change in position. So we've now got two spiders, same lycosid, plus one going to balloon again. And that one on the right, and then right on the left of, you may well see the other one, it's more hunkered down, but this one continues to make attempts to go. The one's moving now. They obviously can see each other. And now the other one makes that attempt to balloon. Ah, now that one's gathering in silk. The one that remains on the left, it's pulling the silk back in there. So presumably that's how the large clumps and strands of silk that I've been seeing are formed. And to think that these spiders, once airborne, could be carried tens, if not hundreds of miles. It all depends on the breeze. Well, Red Admiral migration seems to have come to a halt. It has got a little bit more cloud here, but it's still bright and still very warm. But there are plenty of areas of blue sky to come over. But I've enjoyed that hour or so's glimpse of Red Admiral migration from another part of Nottinghamshire, very different to at Ekring. I think the main peak of butterflies has gone through, but given fine periods of weather, Red Admirals will continue to trickle through, probably right through October. So we'll have to see what the next few days bring and a return to Ekring. But it's been nice just to witness Red Admirals continuing to move southwest through Nottinghamshire today from another site here at Besthorpe, at the side of the mighty River Trent. And a nice peaceful hour it's been too.